Hello, African sports fanatics. Welcome to another episode of the Safari Soccer Show. I'm your host, Yvonne Etta. My guest today is, I believe, the most successful football coach in South Africa right now. Coach, I know most of the viewers know you, but just to clarify, just reintroduce yourself to the viewers and maybe take us through your football journey, because you have played soccer before, then left soccer because of an injury, and now as a football coach as well.
Yeah, look, thanks for having me. It's been a long journey since I turned professional in 1981 in South Africa. When amalgamation took place. The amalgamation took place in about 1978, 79, when all the leagues came together. But I only came 1981 as a 17-year-old. I played for a club, Lenik, which is it's a big Greek club in Cape Town. Played there all my career, 14 years as a player. And as you know, those days we all had, as a white South African, we had to go to the army. Yeah. So we had to go, that was obviously a problem. So we couldn't really get out the country. But most of us all played here. And then obviously from then, I finished in 94, and I started coaching in 1995. Yeah. I coached a team called Seven Stars, which is Ajax, which is Ajax Amsterdam and Ajax Cape Town. Eventually they amalgamated. So I coached that team first, and then I was there 3 years, and I can't remember where I go. Then I went to Lenik, the team I played for, coached them. Then I went to a team called Black Leopards, Morocco Swallows, Supersport, which is the TV channel, United. Yeah. And then Bidvest Wits, Kaizer Chiefs, and now I'm at Chippa United. So it's been quite a journey since 1981. Never missed a year.
Quite a journey, but you have won everything from the PSL, Coach of the Year, Absa Cup. Now, Coach, maybe just ask you, what do you think makes you a cut above the rest in the South African League?
Well, I don't think above the rest. I just think, obviously, the playing experience, I always feel, I think it also gives you a little bit of an edge, even though the modern young coaches today are pretty much just coming with no playing background and just going into coaching. But I still feel as an ex-player, you've got more of a feel to the dressing room, what to say, what not to say. So those type of things I always feel helps as if you were a player. And I've also said, as young coaches, you need to get qualified. I went to England. The only reason why I went to England, obviously, because the English. You could go to France or Germany. But, to speak English is easier for me. So I went to England, did my coaching license, international license, B license, and then the A license, UEFA A license and stuff. So I went through all those stages a long time ago. I always feel it helps you. It just gives you a different insight into the game, how to take training sessions, what it needs, what it doesn't need, what the team needs. So those type of things definitely must get qualified as a young coach. And then obviously you need a team where you're allowed to work. But obviously in the modern day game, it's very much hiring and firing, and there's not much time. So in most of my jobs that I've had time to work and build teams and and bring a lot of youth. I brought a lot of young players through. The 17, 18-year-old boys who've gone on to have good careers. Yeah. I'm getting so old now that I brought players through that I end up they're coaching against me now. So those things happen, but that's the cycle of the business. I obviously would like to have certainly get out of South Africa and coach in another country, but there hasn't been many opportunities, which is a little bit sad, because I'd still do it now that I feel that I'd like to experience another culture of football, another culture of football. And I've been obviously traveled all over Africa in Champions League and played many Champions League games, and Confederation Cup games, but I certainly would like to experience another culture of football, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, coach, you have told me about the CAF license. How important are badges to a coach? Because let me give you an example. Here in Kenya, there is a time one of the biggest clubs in Kenya, Gor Mahia, brought in a coach, but then the coach could not keep with the coaching the club because there are some stages, I think, have C license he did not have. How important are these?
Well, as I said, I think it's very important to get qualified. It doesn't, even if you got like myself, I had playing experience, you still need, you need to understand the concept of training, you know, what team needs, what it needs to solve problems, what type of training sessions, what it needs to progress the team, what it needs to understanding of, because the game, the one thing about football doesn't change much, but the game concept changes quite a bit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of modern day things that like playing out the back now. Now there's a huge, all over the world, everybody must play out the back. And you've got centre back standing inside the big box. And that's also comes with the mentality of the coach. But if you're a young coach, sometimes young coaches fall into the trap of trying to copy what's going on there, where they should be using their own feel for the thing. And that'll help if you played, but also help you if you've done your licenses. And I think for coaches to get jobs, I think you need to have qualifications. It's like being a doctor. You can't be a doctor if you haven't studied, or something like that. So I think you might know medical things. Like I know medical what's required, but I'm not a doctor. So these type of things, certainly for me, I think you need to get qualified.
And also you have told me, because you have won everything in South Africa right now, you wish to also get another challenge outside South Africa. Does it mean there are no inquiries, or there's no clubs outside South Africa who have approached you?
I mean, over the years, I've had 2-3 approaches. One in Egypt, a big club in Egypt. I should have taken it. I don't know, it just wasn't right, whatever. And obviously in the Gulf, but the Gulf is, I mean, the Gulf, if you go to football in the Gulf, I'm talking Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar, you're going to go there for maybe the wrong reasons. You're not going to go there for football reasons, because it's very lucrative, but not very, the football doesn't have that passion. And I think, if you coach, I think you need to coach at a club where there's a lot of pressure. I like the pressure. And there's a lot of supporters, and there's pressure at games where if you go certain countries, I think, it's more lucrative for you, but certainly you lose the passion of what the game, what I enjoy in the game,
Also, Coach, let me just take you back to your time at Kaizer Chiefs. You were released from your contract because of the poor performance the club had by then. Do you believe the mistake was yours, or it was just club in general? Because let's say when the club performs poorly, it's always on the coach.
Well, in football, as you know, when the team is winning, the players are doing well. And when the team loses, the coach is doing badly. So all I say is that when I left, I think the club was in a better place than when I arrived. Now, people say, how can you say that? Well, if you look at, the players that were signed, obviously I was involved with all those signings this season. We did have the ban. And obviously when I left, we were in the semi-final of the Champions League. So yes, we weren't doing well domestically, but the squad certainly needed what's going to happen now. There'll be an overhaul of the players, and a lot of younger players will come in, and which has happened already this season, 2 games in. So, yes, you can always say, if I stayed this season, we would have done better. That's neither here nor there. That's all. There's no ifs and buts, but certainly that the players that were coming in were certainly going to strengthen the team. We signed all those players. I was involved with that. And obviously we were in the Champions League semi-final. So, obviously you don't want to leave a club of that size, but these things happen in football, and you got to move on, but it doesn't make me certainly, what's the word? Question me. I mean, it's on both sides. Yes, could I have done better? Sure, could have done better, of course. I mean, the results had to be better. But we had a squad that needed a change, and the change couldn't do it because of the FIFA ban. So, there's a couple of ways you can look at it. But a fantastic club, great opportunity, and certainly something that, I left with a heavy heart, but that's what happens in football.
Okay, and suppose you are still in charge of Kaizer Chiefs.
I'm certainly not going to be the last manager getting fired from a job. And
Sure.
Believe me, there'll be certainly a few coming now in the next week or two, all around the world. Yeah.
Also, coach, suppose you are still in charge of Kaizer Chiefs at the finals against Al Ahly. Do you think there's something you would have done differently that would have reduced the goal difference at the finals?
No, I don't really. That's a hypothetical. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but it's a hypothetical question. Yeah, I don't really want to go there. I mean, obviously, it's sad to see them lose like that, because we did so well. We went through pre-qualifying to get into the group. We did 4 games in a pre-qualifying, home and away, and then we got into the group, and then get out of the group, and then so I was there with that. It was a long journey and a tough journey, and our domestic form suffered. There's no two ways about it. But we were doing well. But I mean, everybody will say yes, that, whatever. But I was sad to see them lose the final, and but they're playing against a good side with a lot of experience. Chiefs have never been there. Chiefs have never even been into a groups before, so it was a big experience just getting into the group, and then to get out of the group, was a huge experience. So it's gone, and I wish them well, and I'm sure they'll do much better this year.
Sure. Also, from Kaizer Chiefs to Chippa United, and also coaching is a calling that most people might just not understand how it is. Most people expected you to go to a bigger club than Chippa United. Maybe how would you explain this to those who thought maybe you are above Chippa United?
Everybody said I'm crazy. Everybody said I'm mad. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But I'm a football coach. It's certainly not for financial reasons. It's where I was maybe 15, 20 years ago, money-wise. So it's not for that. It's a football reason. I thought, do I want to sit at home and just watch and hang around? I think with football coaching, sometimes about timing, being in the right place at the right time. I mean, Bidvest Wits 2 years ago being sold, that was a real killer blow to me, my staff, everybody who lost our jobs. And then everybody, that was a club. That club had everything. We just won the league first time in 100 years. We won all the trophies, the domestic cups. We were selling players. The club was coming again. It works in cycles. We were coming again. We just came third. And I believe we would have won the league last year, definitely. We had a team to do it. So timing is, with football jobs, is timing, and you can't pick and choose. As a player, you can pick and choose if you're in demand. But even if a coach is in demand, you can't pick and choose. Clubs have got coaches. So the opportunity came around. I saw it as an opportunity because of the club is rock bottom of the leagues. I've gone from the top to the bottom club. No money, no finance to buy players. We can't buy a player. So it takes me right back as a coach, and really, and getting on the training ground a bit more, and really working hard again. So I've been here 6 weeks. It's been a huge challenge because of obviously the quality, and we can't get players, and so it's make a plan and think on your feet. So I'm trying to use, we've had a decent start for a club of our size. We've got a win and a draw. We're in the top 4 or 5. So may long it continue.
You have been there for about 6 weeks, coach. So what is your plan at Chippa United? Do you plan to win the league, or maybe now you still have a target of not winning the league?
You know, people say, I've heard they ask you, what's your mandate, what's your target?
Yeah.
I've come from a league winning mentality. Wherever I've been, we try to win the league. Now I've come to a mentality we're trying to survive relegation. So it's a bit of a catch, you know, at the moment. But all I'm trying to concentrate on at Chippa, as I said, don't think of the end line. Let's just think of one game at a time, and let's try to just go one game at a time, and we take it like that. Because if you think of the end line in football, like you say, well, we're going to win the league, or we're going to survive relegation, or we're going to be Champions League places, I think that's when you get too far ahead of yourself. So let's concentrate on one half at a time and one game at a time, and let's just go from there. And basically what I'm trying to do is trying to get good foundations in of football intelligence about what you need to do. And it's taking me right back as a coach as well. We're coaching throw-ins. That's up, you know what I'm saying? So we're doing throw-ins, how to take a throw-in, where to throw it, how to throw it. So it's got, in a professional, I've gone right back to, and I feel sometimes it's good for as a coach, you know, sometimes, you know, you need to do that. And it's been very interesting, because obviously I've had the last 20 years of success. Now it's completely different.
Also, coach, talking of it, football is completely different now. Football is a dynamic game with technical changes daily. What is your philosophy and coaching culture?
Well, as much as the game changes, the game doesn't change. And I think that's where people of the modern day coaches with computers and satellites, and I always say in football, it's sometimes it's a cover up for your lack of knowledge. So people say, oh, what are you talking about? Well, there's too much computers. There's too much computers in the modern day football, and satellites for tracking your running, and sports science and all these things. Football's got to lead sports science. Sports science can't lead football, not for me. I think you need to understand the game. What's the game requirements? The pitch hasn't changed in 100 years or how many years. The 11 players, yes, formations change and those type of things, and I think it becomes a little bit fashionable. Sometimes you want to play with 3 defenders and 4, and these things become fashionable. I think you've got to see what you've got in your squad. Obviously, if you Pep Guardiola or these ones, you can buy wherever you want, and that's easy, because you just buy the best players and you fit them in. Where if you go down the leagues, Burnley and these ones down the bottom, I'm just giving you English Premier League. Now you've got to make a plan, and you can't no money, and you've got to find a right back, and you've got to make a plan. And where at Pep, they say the great coaches, they're all great coaches because they win the champion. But honestly, are they great coaches? Honestly, when you can buy a fullback for £100 million and you buy a striker for Grealish for £100 million, and it's easy for you. It's easy. So I think coaching, you've got to be very careful. What's a good coach? What's not a good coach? What's a philosophy? The philosophy in football is percentages. Keep the opposition away from your goals, and put your ball in the opposition's box more. And I think your chance of winning is going to be better than if the opposition are in your box. So it's the game don't change. And all these coaches, they can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. They talk a lot of nonsense half the time, because the game doesn't change, and we need to keep the concept of the game a little bit sometimes lower key, and just and work on, you know, specifics certainly around the game. So philosophy, it all changes with what you've got. The bottom line.
Also, coach, I'm just curious, have you ever thought of coaching a national team?
Yes. I've had 3 interviews with the national team. I think 2010 was the real blow because I always felt World Cup was in South Africa and we needed a South African coach. I think it was a great opportunity. The team was never going to get out of the group. They can tell me what they like. The team was never good enough, the players, but we were never going to get out the group. But I think the South African taking the team, I understand the association bringing in Carlos Pereira, who was a Brazilian, who won the World Cup with Brazil, but really, honestly, you know, I think it would have been better having a South African there. It's like, I think every national team should be coached by your local.
Yeah,
I really feel that. Yes, if you're really struggling, but there's got to be a player, ex-player, or a coach that's done well and give an opportunity. And Africa, we do bring a lot of foreign coaches in sometimes for national teams, which is sometimes, you know, it's, I don't know the thinking, but I think 2010 was a bit of a blow where possibly he should have got the job. And then there was another interview process. I said, I'm going for no more interviews. They can just look at the record now. No more interviews. I must stand and tell you. I must stand and tell you about this and that. About what? What do you want to know? You know. So no more interviews. But I also think national team jobs should be for somebody older, coach. I don't think it's for a young coach. I think you don't work enough. You work in 1 week in every 3 months. You know, you work 3-4 days. Your players in, and so I think it's for an older guy who's been around, more experienced, who's won things. Doesn't matter if he's won things domestically, because I always feel it's better. You'll know the culture of the people and the players as well.
Okay, coach. Also, I can't summarize the interview without asking you. You coached Teddy Akumu at Kaizer Chiefs. He's a Kenyan.
Akumu, the big boy. Yeah.
How do you rate him? And also, maybe if Chippa United is short of players, maybe you can come to Kenya as well and some others to join you guys at South Africa.
Well, the first Kenyan that I actually played against Kenya in Champions League in 1989, I think. I played a team there. So the Kenyan players, I mean, obviously, if you think of Kenya, you think of runners, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But the real player that I knew was Musha Otieno. He played for Santos.
Yeah.
Very, very good professional, fantastic man, lovely man. He came after me, after my career, but he did very, very well at Santos, won the league, they won cups here, and he had a great career in South Africa. So, you know, he's the type of player that I look at. If most Kenyans could be like him, I think they'll have good careers. I met Akuma last year. He was at Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
I really don't. My biggest thing with him is I think the position where he plays. They said to me he's a midfield player, you know, and I tried to play him in defense. I just felt he had more chance there. You know, he did very, very well at the beginning, then faded off a little bit. But I think he's still young enough. I'm not sure of his age. But I don't know what his contract situation is. And obviously, at a club like I'm at, we cannot afford his wages. My club, no, we don't pay what they pay.
There are some other youngsters in Kenya whom I think Chippa United can afford.
Sure.
Yeah.
I must come and have a look there. I haven't seen your domestic league live game. I've been around, but I've never been to Nairobi and to watch games and that.
Our league just ended last weekend, and Tusker FC were crowned the champions.
Okay.
So maybe next season you can come.
I must come. Yes, I'd love to.
You're welcome. Also, Coach, thank you very much for showing up for my show. This special.
No, lovely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this special.
I hope it goes well for you. I hope you know, football is the football world is a very small world now. You know, Zoom and all these type of things. So you know, information can be transferred across. You know, we all learn from each other. I can learn. We all learn. You know, in football, you never stop learning. So yeah, thanks for the platform, and hopefully your show goes well and it builds from strength to strength. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Coach. Also, to our viewers, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Safari Soccer Show. Follow us on all our social media handles at Safari Soccer Show on both Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. Thank you, Coach, and I wish you all the best in this Chippa United.
Au revoir. Thank you. Bye.